There's a bright side
Boom, boom.
somewhere. There's a bright side.
Hello. We all have our quirks, don't we? Those little things that are odd that a lot of other people around us don't have or seem to think maybe is odd about us. I know that whenever you get married, you find out I guess you would say, quirks that your spouse has. I'm not going to talk about Kelly at this point. I'll just talk about myself. I think one of the things that surprised her was I have this quirk, and in fact it seems to bother most people when they find this out about me, is I will make my bowl of cereal and then I let it set and get mushy. Those commercials for cereal that says it stays, firm in milk and that kind of stuff, I don't want that kind of cereal. I like my cereal to get mushy. Now, please don't turn off the video at this point, because I've seen some people have some very bad reactions to this particular quirk I have, but that's just the way I like to eat my cereal. In fact, I guess part of the argument I have with my wife is, I say, you love oatmeal, you eat oatmeal all the time, that's about as mushy as it gets, how can you complain about my cereal? But okay, enough of that. All I'm getting at is that we all have quirks. And I've noticed another quirk about myself. When I go through my contact list on my phone, whenever somebody has died, I don't take them out. They stay in there. I just don't remove them from that list. They just stay there. In other words, both of my parents have passed. Their phone number is still there. Their phone number is still in there. Lots of people that I've known are still there. In other words, I've observed this. I don't remember when I observed it first about myself, but I was just going through my contact list one time looking for somebody, and I wasn't in a hurry, and I stopped and I got to noticing. And I guess the older you get in life, the more you notice this, that you've known a lot of people that are no longer here. They're no longer with us. And I got to noticing how many people that I don't take out. I just keep them in there. In fact, I guess for those of you from the Covington Church, it's interesting, at least it's interesting to me, in my phone, Roger, I knew Roger before I was ever the preacher here. And if you punch in the number in my phone to the church office, it still says Roger's office. I don't know, never bothered to change it. I just kept it there, kept his cell number, that sort of thing. But anyway, point I'm making is that I just keep those numbers there, and sometimes it's nice to go back through and reminisce and look at those. And what I want to remind us of this afternoon in this little video is to say, God has kind of a contact list too. He calls it the book of life. And God puts you in that book of life. And when you're in there, you're in his contact list, so to speak. And the reality is, with God, death does not take you out of that list. In fact, reality is that's the time when God finally calls you and says, come home. And so that's the thought I want to leave you with today as we continue this path through Easter week. If your name is in the book of life, if your name is in God's contact list, he's not going to take you out because of death. In fact, that's the way that you get called to come home. You see, if I put you in my contact list and you die and you pass away, you don't leave out of there. In fact, sometimes now I just go through my contact list and I sit down and I reminisce about people. If you're in God's contact list, your death just means that he has now made that call to you and said it's time for you to come home. Isn't that a great thing?
There's a bright side
Boom, boom.
somewhere. There's a bright